And so welcome to the Paul Clark podcast. Thanks for listening. Hope you are well. Recording this on the 23rd of October 2016. A few days after the third and final presidential debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Never before in my life have I got behind a political movement, a political cause, a belief in one man and his vision to make his country great again. Make America great again. For if America is great again, then I believe that the world is great again. But never before have I got behind something like this with such raw passion, with such a belief in that message to make America great again. And for many people out there, it's a hard thing to understand. Why would Paul Clark support Donald J. Trump? And you usually get one of two reactions. One, I usually get when people find out that I'm a Trump supporter, they usually say, how can someone so smart be so stupid? Or I get, oh, it's a shame and I used to like you. Or I get the classic, which is, oh, I guess you must be a racist and a bigot. Because that's what people do now. People put you into categories. People put you into political boxes. And it almost seems like these people are living in some kind of science fiction novel, some kind of fantasy where the left is good and the right is bad. It's not like that. I think both sides have faults. There's pros and cons to both sides. But the pros for Donald Trump, the pros of the Republican Party for me right now, is a party, a leader, a man who wants to make his country great again, and a man who wants to bring jobs back, wants to bring industry back to his country. What's the problem with that? Is that racist and bigoted? Is it racist and bigoted to say that you want control over your borders? We had all this here in the UK with the referendum. You know, that if you voted Brexit, then I guess you're a racist and a bigot or a xenophobic. And it's like, no, I just kind of want us to control our borders and I want us to be independent. That was my thinking. I mean, really, for me, just in the case of Brexit, immigration didn't really factor into it at all. I don't really think I ever thought about it in any great detail. I've always thought the current system we have of free movement is pretty crazy, particularly when we've got the likes of ISIS out there who want to basically blow us all up. I'm kind of thinking, well, surely now we need to get our borders under control. But it's not like a number one priority. You know, my priority, my investment, my interest in us Brexiting the European Union was that I looked at countries like America, I looked at places like Canada and Japan and Australia and New Zealand, and I thought, well, they're all independent countries. They've got their independence. Why can't we? They seem to be doing okay. Why can't we have our independence? And that's why I voted Brexit. Had nothing to do with immigration. But what we're seeing in America very much is a repeat of Brexit. And the media bias out there. Do you remember what it was like in the months, the weeks, the days leading up to the referendum? And the bias of the media, looking back at it, was immense. You know, it's going to be Remain. Brexit have lost it. Brexit, you know, are just full of a bunch of racist xenophobics. And yet on the day, people came out in droves, people who'd never voted before, and they voted to leave the European Union. And the media went into meltdown. It's almost like they couldn't get their peeny little brains around it. It was amazing. It was an amazing day. It was an interesting day for me personally, because I work in a very left-wing establishment, and to see people's reactions to it was quite interesting. A lot of people there were really, really upset, and I can understand why they would be upset, because when you're behind something, like I'm behind Donald Trump, I believe in what Donald Trump stands for, and if he loses to Hillary Clinton, if he loses in 2 weeks' time, if he loses the November 8th election, I will be deeply upset. Yes, I will. Will I cry about it? Probably not. Probably not. But I will be upset. I will feel that an opportunity has been squandered. I'll feel that, the chance to make America great again has been lost. But I won't be a sore loser about it. I will pick myself up, dust myself off, and move on with my life. Not saying it will happen overnight, but there's very little I can do about it. Just as there's very little that the Remainers could do about Brexit. You had your opportunity. And the fact of the matter is I don't think that the Remain side, the Remain campaign, had a clear vision, had a clear message, one that certainly didn't resonate with the British people. And that's what I see, by the way, on the Democratic side with Hillary Clinton. There's not really a coherent message with her. With Donald Trump, it's make America great again, bring back jobs, get control of the borders. Whether you like that or not, those are the guys' messages. Those are the guys' political policies, his views. With her, the only thing she's got is basically bash Trump and more of the same. And more of the same is kind of what's led to the rise of Donald Trump. The reason why people voted Brexit was because people were sick and tired of the same old politics. The same old politics, the same old sound bites. They feel that the political class doesn't care about the ordinary voter anymore. So many of them used the referendum as a chance to get their voices heard. And I believe that is exactly what's going to happen on November 8th. I really believe that. I believe there are people who, not that they necessarily like Trump or like his views, but they see Trump as a protest vote, and their way of saying to the establishment, to Washington DC, we are not going to put up with your BS any longer. And if Trump wins, I think it will be a sign that there is a movement going on. And in this country, even though I don't like Jeremy Corbyn or his views, it will be a sign that just maybe Jeremy Corbyn is on his way to becoming Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, which would cause me some degree of concern, because I don't particularly want to live in a communist, socialist Britain. But by Trump winning, it could be an indication that there is some real change in the air. Brexit was the catapult. Brexit got the ball rolling. But that's just the beginning. Donald Trump, Marine Le Pen in France, Jeremy Corbyn. You have these people who are effectively outsiders, people who are on the far edges of mainstream politics, that are now amassing a following, a very vocal, passionate following that want change, that are desperate for change, that are crying out for help, that are crying out to be listened to, that don't want the massive influx of immigration coming into these countries. And it's not about being racist, and it's not about saying, oh no, let's bring down the shutters and not let anybody in. I think immigration's a great thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. But Trump's idea of building a wall, what's bad about that? Just hear me out for a second before you go, ooh, racist, bigot, or you start going, oh, I used to like Paul Clark. Oh, it's such a shame. How can someone so smart be someone so stupid? Hear me out for a second. Building a wall to keep out the troublemakers. Building a wall to keep out radical Islamic terrorism, to stop them coming in to these countries. Whatever you've got, be it a wall, be it an electric fence, what's bad about it? And then you keep out the bad ones, but we can still let the good ones in. I want the good ones to come here. I want the good ones to come here. My own doctor is a Pakistani. He's an Asian. He came over from this country about 20 years ago. He's a great doctor, a great guy. And those are the kind of people that we want. But we don't want these illegals. We don't want these troublemakers. And the way the current system works is that you can't basically protect yourself from the bad ones when basically our governments, people like Hillary Clinton, the greatest woman who's ever lived, if you were to believe the biased media, seem to think we should just let them all in with no background checks. It's ridiculous. And to all you women out there that think that a vote for Hillary is a vote for feminism, or supporting Hillary is the right thing to do, it's a good thing, it's a great thing to have the first female president of the United States. Yeah, I would like to see that. I would love to see the first female president of the United States. Absolutely. But not Hillary. Anyone but Hillary. Please to God, not Hillary Clinton. Because that, folks, that's not a woman. That's a witch. That's a witch who has lied, cheated, blackmailed, and abused tens of thousands of women under her husband in the name of protecting her husband, Bill Clinton, who is a serial rapist. And don't believe me. Look it up online. There's many books that you can read, but don't take my word for it. Go off and do your own research into the history of the Clintons. Look up Monica Lewinsky. Look up Jennifer Flowers. Look up Whitewater. Go and look that up. The fact that Hillary Clinton, with her husband, her lying, cheating scumbag of a husband, screwed out thousands of innocent Americans out of their homes. And you think that is fit for office? That woman and her husband should be running the greatest nation on planet Earth? Come on. Don't be stupid, America. You're better than that. And by the way, it's not that I think Donald Trump's going to be the greatest president who ever lived, but like Brexit, you might as well take a chance. Because what have you got to lose? Because as Donald Trump says, surely to God it can't get any worse right now. And look at it like this. It's only 4 years. With Brexit, we can't reverse that now. We're in it for the long run. We're in it for the long haul. There's nothing you can do to reverse this. Whether for good or ill, we're stuck with it. However, you vote Donald Trump, he fails as president. 4 years' time, it's 4 years. It's 4 years. It's less than people get sent down for murder for. 4 years. It's nothing. Get rid of him. But not her. Please, America, dear God, not Hillary Clinton. Anyway, that's my rant over for today. Anything you've heard for the last couple of minutes that you want to comment on, please do. You can either comment on my Facebook, or you can check me out on Twitter. It's Paul Clark @GeekyRat. That's @GeekyRat on Twitter. Or you can send me an email. Send me an email to paulclark2525 @msn.com. That's paulclark2525 @msn.com. I hope this has come across clearly enough and precisely enough, but I had to have a good rant, I think, today. I had to have a good old rant. I didn't really get too much into the bias of the media, did I? I should do that next time, because I've got a lot to say on that, and the way they've conducted themselves throughout this whole election has been a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. But I'll get onto that in a future episode. Thanks so much for listening to the Paul Clark podcast, and I will speak to you again very, very soon.